What's going on, everyone? Everybody, it's Friday. We love Friday. Friday is our favorite day of the week, generally speaking, because we're talking about comic books, we're hanging out, we're bullshitting. And not only are we doing that, tonight's new comic night. So we're really, really stoked about that. If It Hops 3 goes live tonight. We're going to talk about that a little bit and talk about some other things. You know, we've got Bladen coming on to show you guys some fancy doodling, and April will be on here in a minute. Of course, we're going to talk to Nate, and we're going to go into some of these covers. We're going to go into some interesting stuff about the new book. Shawnee, you know, we'll get Shawnee in here too because Shawnee's awesome. She'll come hang out if she wants to. She's always the life of the party around here. But there's so much going on that I want to talk to you guys about tonight, and I want to make sure I answer any questions that we've got. I want to go over If It Hops. Like, I really want to talk about what If It Hops is. You know what I mean? And what's, where it came from, how we got into it and stuff. And it's just, I love how every time I add Bladen to a show anymore, he's got a different fucking name on his thing.
I know. Right?
Anyway, so it's just interesting concept, right? Like, the anthropomorphic characters, where they came from, us being fans as turtles as kids, Street Sharks, we were all fans of the Looney Tunes and stuff. So we're going to get into that here in a little bit. I know April's coming on, but I'm going to run over here. I'm going to hit live on this campaign button real quick. Actually, let me check with our campaign builder real quick. You got anything for me tonight, Nathan? You got anything going on?
Biggest thing is, we're working on the If It Hops review for number 1, and then Magic. We're gonna do My Metal Girl next.
Oh my gosh, My Metal Girl!
So I'm excited for that one. And of course, Derby Shadows. That needs a launch like now.
Oh, Derby Shadows. What's going on? No, it's exciting to look at things like There Be Shadows and My Metal Girl. I'm trying to get a hold of Russ to make sure I can hit this button, and we'll go ahead and go live with this campaign. So, speaking of, I didn't want to get into If It Hops too much till April gets here, but speaking of like My Metal Girl, right? I think the concept has just it's got people's attention. You know what I mean? Same thing with There Be Shadows. I really think There Be Shadows is definitely one to, pop. It's Shawnee. We love Shawnee. There's a lot going on. And I'm gonna give Russ like 5 more minutes.
You're on the clock, Russ.
Yeah, he's on the clock. He's adding some cool stuff though. He's adding a couple graphics that I want to make sure get added on it. Whatever, he can add that later. We're gonna
Bladen.
Hello.
Oh gosh. All right, here we go. We're gonna launch this project.
Dun dun dun.
There we go. I'm no longer giving him 5.
Too late.
Too late. Sorry. Sorry.
Patience has never been one of Dustin's strong points.
It's not one of my virtues. And it's not love language for me either. You know what I mean?
And that's okay. It's one of the things we love about you. We love that excitement. We love that, that passion.
I'm very easily excitable. And Thomas, I love Thomas. I'm working so hard on a bunch of really cool stuff. Like the Kickstarter emails. I'm working on the thank you, madam. I'm working on the Kickstarter emails. I'm working on the new web chimp stuff. I know Russ is rebuilding the entire website from like scratch. So there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. Hey, Bladen, what are you working on in the corner up there?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Oh, that looks like kill cam. No, you sound like you're in a fishbowl.
Yeah, it's weird.
Probably
like
I don't know. How about
There
now?
you
There
go.
you are. Yep.
There you go.
Really? How
Yeah,
about now?
you're super good.
How about now?
Can you hear
Right
me now?
now.
Can we hear
Yeah.
you now?
How you like
hear
it
me
now?
All right. Yeah, I'm doing some comic stuff, drawing.
It looks super fancy.
Oh, it's marginally
He
excellent.
says that so casually. I love it. Yeah, I'm doing comic stuff. It's just,
It's looking good. Well, the
Oh, yeah.
campaign is live. We're super excited about it. There are a couple new team members on this particular issue. There are a couple new ones. One being Mr. Sean Lee, and his stuff. I'm going to show you guys the cover that he colored.
Please
for
do, because that cover is
Oh my
fierce.
gosh. It's just absolutely crazy. His colors are just insane. Like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
absolutely insane. We're gonna try to get him on a cover for every book. We really, really like him. He's really cool.
I don't know what special acts I need to do to get Dustin to have him work on one of my covers.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Feeling it
Well,
already.
he's got Headwind coming up on his My Metal Girl cover, so
Oh, that's weird.
That's true. That is true.
He's got some good stuff coming up himself.
He
over there.
does, but he has every right to be greedy and want even more good stuff.
You know
There's nothing
funny?
wrong with that.
He could pick and choose any day of the week if he remembered to.
Yeah,
If
that's
he
probably
remembered, he could pick and choose all he wanted to. But speaking of Bladen's cover, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of it, especially from the storytelling aspect. If you know anything about the new issue or what's going on in the books right now, it's a really big deal because we're showing you a lot of new stuff at the same time as we're showing you a lot of old stuff in this cover. So I'm really, really excited about it. I'm just a huge fan of art in general, but when it comes to If It Hops, I get all like giddy with the artwork and stuff that people are putting out. I mean, there are so many cool things going on with this particular series, and I'm telling you, I have yet met a fan base for an indie comic that is so incredible as the If It Hops fan base. Like we love our fans, like all of our fans, but I get more messages and more emails about If It Hops than any other book under our umbrella.
And we love you for bringing us Bunny Butt.
Yes, the bunny butt, the fantastic bunny butt. I love working with her. I think she's a stellar character. We first started putting her together, I was real nervous. Like I was really, really nervous about how people would react. And I remember Bladen going, "Oh, she's badass. She's badass." Woot. Shawnee, I don't know who that is, but they're a backer, and we love this story.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where we were, it was nerve-wracking to come up with a character that was so different than anything that you normally see in comic books. Because at the time, recently I've seen another Anthro book or two, but when we first started talking about If It Hops almost a year and a half ago, I wasn't seeing anything on the radar that was anything remotely like that.
Yeah.
So to be able to come back to it and have such a good time with it, I mean, in reality, in practice, we started working on this book a year ago, this series, and we're on issue 3 now, which is phenomenal for us. I mean, you're averaging a new issue every 3 months in a year. You know what I mean? It's such a cool thing because that first 3 months is us working on it and trying to figure out what it's going to be, what we're going to do, and then I'm pretty sure the first issue was done before we went to Kickstarter, because we were trying to. Was it done, Bladen?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know how things work.
I'm pretty sure it was done ahead of time, because we were so like on top of what we were doing and so nervous about everything that we were doing that it had to be done right away. Like everything had to be done. And to be fair, I think If It Hops was one of the first books that came out under the Ethereal brand. Like it wasn't on Cowabunga like the listener was. It wasn't on.
And the first Greed was yeah. So I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the first book that came out on the brand's own, like that had never been on anything else.
Mm-hmm.
which was phenomenal, which was really, really, really cool because C's been a lot of fun. She's just a lot of fun to work with. She's a lot of fun to, to show you guys. I would show you guys a lot more tonight, but again, we've moved to Twitch, so we're being very, very respectful about what we put on our streams. But again, there were some really beautiful covers. I mean, there were some absolutely just stellar covers that came out. Mitch Massey on this one, guys. Love that cover. Oh my gosh. So Renee, for those of you guys that have not seen Renee's work, make sure you're following Renee. I mean, her artwork is just so much fun. Like, it's just so much fun. And I think this was the first cover that we saw that had Deccan on it, which is the first appearance for this book, is C's brother. He's on a couple covers. On Lewis's cover. He looked more like Terminator in that one. I thought that was funny. But no, he's a very just fun character and a very jovial individual. So the lifestyle is weird for him, and he gets pulled into a lot of things that you wouldn't have thought, an individual would get yanked into. But when your sister's, who she is, and then you're dating this crazy lioness, all kinds of crazy stuff goes on. So, but it's a ton of fun. It's so much fun. And then we've got the Wilsons. We love the Wilsons.
Yep.
They come in.
I love when that Chunkin' Donuts. That was.
How much fun was that, right?
Exactly. When Steph showed that off, I was like, oh, that's just.
It's just adorable. But I mean, I always want her to have that sense of sweet about her. You know what I mean? Even though she knows how dark and dreary the world is, I always like her to feel some kind of positive energy. Like, she's that character that at the end of the day is still going to try to look at the bright side of no matter how bad things are. But things are really going to get piled up on her in this issue. So I'm hoping you guys dig it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think, where are we at? I think we're a little ways into it right second. We're at $690 right now at 11 backers. Slaying it, guys. Absolutely slaying it. So before April gets back, because I want to give her plenty of time to talk about it, because she actually did a lot of the line work on this issue with Bladen. So I want to give her plenty of time to talk about what she's got to put into it and what she's got to do.
In true April fashion.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, because this is since I've known her for a few years now. I've traveled the country with her, and she's one of my best friends. But one of the most interesting things about her viewpoint on the books that we put out is C has been her favorite from the get. Yeah. So for her to be able to work on it with Bladen was something that she was very, very proud of, and I'm ecstatic that the two of them got to work together and have a good time. And it's awesome to see her name, right there with this on the cover. So
absolutely,
it's just super, super cool.
Well, not only am I excited about the covers too, but I'm really excited to see the interiors. I mean, I always am, but even more so now because this collaboration, I think, is just going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see it in its entirety.
Well, the one cool thing about the interiors of this issue is it's not like a normal issue, right? When you go into a normal issue, it's normally me and the writer, your line artist, and your colorist. Because not for nothing, but inking is one of those things where it's almost like a special practice anymore. Like, we won't grab an inker unless we need an inker, because most of the time you'll see that your line artist nowadays is going to ink their own work. You know what I mean? Most of them will. Like Bladen's doing now. It's one of those things where it's almost like expected anymore that you're going to ink your own work.
And so I've seen that change a lot lately. Like, it used to be so much like the pencil there, the artist did the pencils, one guy did the inks, one guy did the colors.
Yep.
And it's actually nice to see people do their own inks now, because you really get to see what they really wanted the image to be.
sure.
Because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad when somebody else does it for you.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, what if they don't know? Like we joked with an artist not too long ago that was with us. Oh, they're still with us, great people. But they didn't read the book, right? So they went in to do the inks, but didn't read and had no clue what they were inking. And it was one of those situations where it was just like, oh, okay, well, we'll fix that. You know what I mean? Not a big deal. Let's go back and we'll fix it. We'll take care of it. And it came out and it looked a million times better once it was done. But it's one of those things where you have to have that expectation. Or is the artist a really fine line artist, right? Is it real fine? Right. You know, because some people will go on and destroy certain artists' lines with ink. You know, they'll just destroy it. You know, they'll blow it all out and it won't be any fun at all for anybody. But there's certain things about art and in comic books where you're like, how should the shadow look? How should, the darkness in a doorway look? We were just talking, actually, Bladen, myself, April, and David Ocampo were talking about a page for Babes, Gore, and Dinosaurs issue 4 recently, where a door slides open, and we were talking about the differences in whether it would be inked across or if it would be colored across, to show the difference between the door being open and closed. It was an interesting conversation because that's not my forte. So these monsters among men, they get in there and they have their conversations about things. But there's all kinds of cool stuff out there. Like when you go for this campaign, especially. Am I making that noise? Are you hearing that?
Is it me?
It's a scratchy noise.
That's Shawnee, I think.
Is it Shawnee?
Is it me?
I don't know. I don't hear it now. So
do you hear it now?
I don't hear anything. Anyway, so going back to talking about things that you guys can see like differently with ink and stuff, I'll show you an incredible example from that Bladen did here recently for If It Hops. And it was just such a cool thing to me to see the pencils versus the actual inks on this page, because there's so much time you can save. Tom knows it's gone now. So if you go to look at this particular page, in the bottom right panel, that was all ink. All the black was ink. And it was just so cool looking. It was so cool looking. And it's even cooler looking now with the colors added to it and stuff. When you first saw it, it was literally like, holy cow, what is happening right there? If you didn't have the script and know that the lights went out, or weren't reading the book and know that the lights went out, I mean, it would be kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have the picture of that?
I have. It's on the screen.
No, I meant the pencils.
Oh, I don't have the pencils. No, I wish I had.
Darn, that would have been cool.
Yeah, right. He's just jibber jabbering at you. Jeez, come on.
Let me see if I can. Hold on.
Catch up, Dustin. Come on.
I can probably grab. Hold on. Let me see.
If it's in the messenger chat, it's from a long time ago. Because
no. I'll look.
Some people talk a lot.
Hold on. Just give me a second, and I'll pull it up. Yeah, see, there it is. What page is that? 3?
Yes.
It's page 3.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's page 3. Hold on.
I just draw them. I don't know.
Whatever. Hold on. Hold on. And it's wild how different the inked page, when Bladen gets a hold of it versus what you would see prior. You know what I mean? Here it is. This is page 3 with all the colors and inks done by Bladen and Ocampo for the colors. And here's the pencils.
Oh.
But it's a million times different, right? It's just very, very different because you're
losing details in the color.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yep.
Because once you put the colors on top of where that black area is, look how there's lines and things like that in
the shadowing,
the shadowing. of that. But when you put the colors on top of it, you've lost all but just a little bit.
It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very, very different.
It's not bad. It is different though. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get to see different aspects of it. You know what I mean?
The color shadowing is obviously much more in your face.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Well, that's the thing, right? Like when you have the book in your hand, it's a very different thing than when you're looking at it digitally, which we love digital. We always give you guys the digitals. You know what I mean? We love the digitals, but it's very, very different. And I love going in and seeing all the work that everybody's put in and the differences things are. Oh, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
That is Mr. Andrew Wilson. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Thank you, Sean. You're incredible.
My boy.
Yeah, it's absolutely intense. The whole page setup is intense. One of the cool things that I know that we're doing for this campaign is we're doing the first 100 backers are getting pulled in for a drawing for an original sketch.
Ooh.
I actually have it. Hold on, let me grab it. And I will leave you to the dulcet tones of my good buddy Bladen Hunter while I go grab this.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, hey, we're screwed.
That's why I have other people on here with me.
Yeah. Well, we did this before.
We did. Yeah.
We did. Yes.
We did survive.
Yep.
Exactly.
So.
What I did notice too, Bladen, is that the face has changed from the pencils to the actual finish, like especially with the C or arcade.
I feel like, I'm still trying to keep it a little bit as I was before and all that. And like April and I have talked about the whole thing. Actually, I don't think he mentioned April's pages are actually going to be available on the Kickstarter campaign. Yes,
all 24 of the pencil pages are available.
Yeah. And I mean, they will be a bit of a different style because I'm definitely putting my hand over it, and I am keeping it consistent with the previous works. And April's style is really cool, and I feel bad for like any alterations on that, but then also it is kind of like a mesh of us all together. So,
absolutely. Well, here's the original piece that we're doing. Wow, you can't even see it very well from.
Tilt it down on the top.
I did that. It turned it even whiter. So,
oh man,
make yourself
there we
bigger.
go.
That way we can see you better.
Yeah, hold on. I'll make me bigger.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Sexy.
So that's the original sketches. We're gonna the first 100 backers will be put in a drawing for that. So we're really stoked about that. And we're also doing a blank piece of Bristol. I got your Bristol. Thomas.
Thomas could win. That'd be fun.
He should win.
Cow in a snowstorm.
Cow in a snowstorm. Jesus.
All inside a milk glass.
Oh no.
There you
go. So we're also doing a catch-up tier this weekend through Sunday. That is all 3 issues, 3 of our most popular covers in a fancy Mike DeBalfo box. So, yes, that's $100, I believe, for this weekend only, and we're only doing that through Sunday. So, outside of that, a bunch of those are limited. 2 of those are limited covers, and they're going back into my own personal vault afterward. So,
hey Dustin, I just looked at the Kickstarter. Those pages aren't on there.
Which one?
For If It Hops 3, the original pages. They're not.
They're all there as add-ons. Are they not?
Oh, are they add-ons?
No, I didn't see them as add-ons either.
Let me check. They should be.
Yeah, your add-ons talk about shiny variants, the foils and the metals.
I'll get Russ on it. Hold on.
Yeah, that's good call.
I know he's. I know. Well, it's. I have that guy working on a lot, so
it's fluid.
Yeah, I have him.
We get that.
They are available under the as add-ons, the original pages.
Right. So they're not listed on the main page, but when you go to the add-ons, they are listed. They are show there in the add-on section.
Okay. And let me check the main tiers. Let me see if I think that he had moved them over there specifically for that. Yeah, he moved them over there specifically for add-ons.
Okay.
Because so
we already know our backing.
Right. Well, it's not like that. It's
That's true. That was cool.
So we had a lot of times we put original art up. People come out and they snag the original art and they don't buy copies of the book or anything.
Yep.
And we talked about it recently where it was like we would rather people that are reading the books be able to get the artwork. Because we'll go deep in the fields real quick. As a kid, I couldn't afford anything like that. Mm-hmm. And even until I was, I'm almost 40. Well, I'm 37 now. But when I was in my 20s, I certainly couldn't have afforded original comic book pages, And so when we do ours, we keep their prices fairly low at like $100 a page, and I want people to be able to afford them, and I don't want them going to hide in a collector's closet that he'll never see them. I want them to go to fans that are going to appreciate the fact they've got a piece of history that they enjoy. You know what I mean? There's a reason you're picking up our books because you enjoy them. And mm-hmm. I want you to be able to have pieces of something special. If you ask, until recently, until we started putting out more books like we have been, I didn't own a piece of original ethereal art at all. I didn't have a single piece. And that's because I sold them or gave them away to fans. And I've always viewed it as something really special. Like I view the original art like it really is, to me, it's something really special. Mm-hmm. So like the original art we're giving away this weekend was out of my personal stash that Bladen had sent over here. You know what I mean? It's stuff that I feel like is phenomenal to be able to share with you guys. And for like we've got we have an amazing fan named Sarah, and she's good friends with Shawnee, and she's good friend with Tom. And we were at a show, and another mutual friend of ours came in Orlando. April and I were at a show, and a friend of ours came and bought, and I'm not going to throw names out on live just because, but she came and she bought a piece from us, framed it, and sent it to our other friend. And now that piece is on her wall, and it literally gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Like, it's just one of those things where, people take for granted those little itty bitty things, but it's something so cool to me, though. It's so cool that there's a piece of our artwork or an original piece, not just an issue, which is amazing in itself. But it's like, holy shit, we walked into a store, I don't know, 6 months ago, and there was a big ass ethereal poster in it, right? And it was like, I was like, man, I don't even know where that came from, And, dude was like, oh, I bought it from your wife when you guys were doing show whatever where we were at. And I was like, oh, that's so awesome, because it's those things that make it so cool. And meeting so many phenomenal people, the characters touch so many people in so many different ways, like there are people that'll read BGD and get something different than other people that are reading BGD, or same thing with If It Hops, you know what I mean? And we were just talking about Fallen Leaves earlier today because I just finished the script for issue 3. I'm very, very pumped about it. But it was like, if you read issue 1 of Fallen Leaves, it's genocide. It's really it's probably one of the darkest things I've written. And but issue 2, you get to which is in queue to be printed now is such a fun book, because you're meeting all these different characters and years have passed and all this other stuff. But I didn't want it to be a rom-com, you know what I mean? So I had to give you amazing and then touch you on a different level emotionally for the second issue than I did the first issue. And when we were doing issue 3 finishing up this morning, I was literally like, I got to page like 18 and I was like, man, this is real nice all the way through it. Uh-oh, guess we got to change the direction here at the end.
Got to kill somebody.
Oh my God. That happens. Bladen was like, way to raise the ick factor. And I was like, yes, all the icky.
It was a compliment.
It was definitely something. It was quite a thing to get into. And
I just want to go back real quick too. Not only is it amazing, that having original art somewhere out there is it has it framed a piece, and I think that's really cool. But also too how it got to them. I think the fan base itself. I mean, like you said, it's fans and friends and family. So I think we have some of the most amazing group of people as fans and friends. Because they do that for each other. It's they know somebody else either didn't have a chance to get it or whatever else, and so we trade, we talk, we share, and I love that about this group. So.
It's so powerful. Like it's so powerful. Like we had look, Underland, Marissa, beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, such a good cover. Like
it's amazing.
That was so much fun.
Her pencils too. That's just the details on it.
She's another one that does very light pencils. You can destroy her artwork if you're not careful. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful. We we did shirts for Vegas last year, and when we were there, we had a friend of ours come up that lived in the area and snag a shirt for a friend that couldn't be there. And it's really cool when things like that happen. Like, I forgot to tell you guys, Bladen especially, because he was counting his minutes over there. We funded a few minutes back, and I forgot to tell him. So we're pretty excited about that.
I'm in the add-ons, so I missed that.
Yeah. And it's just, for sure. Well, it's just, when you start looking at creating a community, and that's something that I am in my wildest dreams could have never imagined. And as we work harder toward that goal, I joke about Ethereal being on an island. We sit over here, we do all our artwork. You don't see us fool too much around in the main, scheme of a lot going on. But that's just because we do so much on our own. You know what I mean? We're over here doing all this work. But the fans, they come and they hang out and they get to see all the work. And I started calling everybody friends, and everybody thought it was funny because to me, it's like I don't think that's a thing, because when we create products, we create them from the soul. We give you everything we've got. Every member of Ethereal gives you everything we've got in every product that comes out, and it's just so cool to touch people in a way that they like the product. They want to read the product. They want to be involved in the product. And that makes people so much more than a fan.
That's like the third time you've talked about touching our fans. And I mean, April's not here.
I'm going to touch them all.
So I needed to point that out.
You are
restraining order.
Sit over there, dirty dude, and do your artwork.
April's not here. Sorry. Someone had to say.
Thanks.
Pseudo April for the night.
Thanks.
There you go. Yeah.
The left hand's not here long enough, so the right hand starts in on me. Thanks.
That's right. I'm bored. Come on.
Isn't that why you have us on the show?
Back and forth.
Comedic relief is me. Yeah. So anyway, Nate, do you have a favorite cover or anything that you see on the campaign tonight?
So Bladen's, of course, is one of my favorites so far. And no, I'm not sucking up because I get good artwork from them. But I also do like LC's in that booty.
For sure. I don't even know that I have that one on here to show you guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab that one.
For me, I always do the pick 3, so I
Yeah,
can always
yeah.
get the 3 covers I want. And
For
so
sure.
it's going to be a kind of a toss up either with Steph or Chris or
Oh man, that Chris Mad though, man.
yeah.
I can't show you that guy. I'll show you guys that
You're
one
going
over
to get
here.
in trouble with that one. You can't
Yeah,
show
I
that one.
can't show you guys that one, but I can
Oh.
show you the LC.
Let's see.
Hold on, I'm bringing it up. I can't show you the other
This
one.
is one awesome.
The LC came out really good.
Did I ink this on the show or did I like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did.
you did. Yeah.
I'll just show it off again because I'm
Please do. It's
still happy with it. Yeah.
Hold on.
you should. Yeah, that's. Thank you. There we go.
If
Yeah, we love the
Tommy works-
details on that. It really. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it came out.
I want that one, but I got too much going on right now. I got to be good.
Awesome.
And the other thing too is Dustin's going to take all my money soon, anyways, because of the things he's got for me.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff out there.
I'm with Tom. Yeah, Chris did okay.
Yeah. There's the LC cover.
With the LC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think it's
I-
fun.
I mean, to me, that's
Like,
got the
it's just
ghost in
very
the shell. You know, it reminds me just of like the same setup. You know,
Right. I dig it. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of the Ghost in the Shell stuff. You know, the Chris Mad, I joked with him yesterday about if you guys saw his Underland cover, it was pretty gnarly. And it was just so cool, and his daughter colors his stuff and it's phenomenal. I mean, they all come out so beautiful. But I was like, man, I've got to give him the grimiest cover ever for in the next few months. I just got to do it because he's so talented. The guy's so talented.
I love to see him do a Greed cover.
Man, so he'll be on Greed. He'll be on a lot. I think he's booked for almost every book we've got coming out. I think the only thing that he's not on coming up is My Metal Girl. And I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be a scrap to find out who's everybody's favorite My Metal Girl cover is. I don't think it's going to be an easy choice any day of the week. I posted those covers on Facebook and people have been blowing me up about them. So,
and we all have such different tastes too. So
yeah,
it'll be really
absolutely.
interesting
Absolutely. I know that there's one of them that we haven't shown you guys live that we can't show you guys. I think Shawnee's seen it where Anne Bonny is cut in half. Yeah. So Nate's seen it too. Yep. So I think that's probably going to be a tough one to beat. But the
but wait, there's always more.
The Mitch Massey cover that we showed today with Sean Lee's covers is absolutely beautiful. The Lenadai cover is beautiful. I mean, there's a bunch of heavy hitters on that issue coming up. So we're really hyped about that. And that's only 2 weeks from now. So,
You guys ready to see something super rare? You ready?
I don't know if I'm ready.
All right, everybody hold
I'm
your
always
breath.
ready.
I'm going to use a ruler.
Sweet baby Jesus.
He's going to make a straight line.
The end days are truly here. Well, that's too thick.
It's the apocalypse.
This is a big event. All right.
It is a big event.
Ooh.
Mr. Hunter, he's got the ruler out.
Dun dun dun.
Oh my gosh. He definitely has it out and he's doing things with it.
Doing things. Whip it out.
No, you don't get to get me and then talk about whipping it out. Put the ruler away. Oh, dirty.
All right, moment's over. Moment's passed. All right, thank you all for your attention.
Ooh, everybody needs a cigarette after that. Jesus.
Put this on Twitch. Whoop.
Oh my gosh. Have you heard from April?
Me, no.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, it's right there. I'm so smart. Okay, for a few minutes, I'll be back.
Lately got so involved in the drawing and the rulers that he lost track.
It's easy to lose track, especially when you're doing all the things and all the stuff and whatnot.
All the stuff.
man, speaking of all the stuff, you know, when I started, I'm gonna tell you guys a story that doesn't get told very often, and is one that was almost to be. Um, so we had a story for If It Hops that was going to be far different than the story that you guys got or are getting. And man, oh man, I can't even tell you what it is, but I would love to. I wish I could go back and fool around with it a little bit, but it'd get me in trouble. I try to behave. Even when HR is
No.
not around, I still try to behave. Like,
Yeah, we tried that. That didn't work so well with me and Bladen together.
no, it doesn't. You know, the thing is, I will tell you guys things and get my ass in trouble when I'm not supposed to tell you guys things, because I always like to be like, "Oh, that's fucking cool. Let's talk about it." You know,
Like I
and
said, patience is not one of your virtues.
no, it is not a thing for me. Like I am, like right now, I want to talk to you about this issue if it hops and what's going on in this issue. Like I want to be like, "Hey, did you know this is about to happen? Check this out on page blah 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 blah." That goes on. You know what I mean? And it's like we have to steadily monitor my speech and what I'm allowed to talk about, because it gets a little wild. I don't know if Bladen knows that his thing went off the air, so no one can see him anymore.
Yeah,
I'll
he had to
message
take.
him.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know if he knows or not, but whatever. He'll be all right. He'll come back in a minute.
If his phone was right there, he may have had to go off to check something.
Yeah. Oh no, he's down there doodling. I'm watching him doodle.
Okay.
I don't know that I've often said I've watched too many people doing their doodling, but he's down there doodling.
That just sounds wrong.
So
Well, this is
anyway,
an ethereal show, so
oh my gosh. We try to behave, especially when HR is not around. We really try to be good. But there's so you know when If It Hops first started, C almost turned out a lot like Harley Quinn on accident. And it was a real slippery slope with the character when we started with her to make sure she didn't evolve into that character. Like I said, I'd like her to be happy-go-lucky to a degree, but not daffy. You know what I mean? Like no one needs the Daffy bunny. You've already got the Daffy duck. You know what I mean? You really don't need the bunny to be batshit crazy. And that was a very slippery slope that we're trying to stay away from. But I did have a ton of feedback about that first issue and our poor duo, the giraffe and the mouse, that Shawnee actually got a piece of artwork of. You know, it was funny because I had a lot of people going, well, this is going to be this. It's going to be straight cutesy bunny book. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we gave you a lot of not cutesy bunny book. You know what I mean? And I think it's fun to be able to be like, hey, here's a 180 from what you're expecting from us. Because a lot of people, when they come into Ethereal, they may not have read another Ethereal book. You know, this may be their intro into Ethereal. So as beautiful as we try to make it, we always want it to be, you know, depth. We want it to be a deep story. I don't ever like hanging out in the shallow end of the pool. I don't think it works for storytelling, for me anyway. Some people can tell you a story in, you know, 10 sentences and you absolutely love it. Whereas I am a fan of build-up. I'm a fan of your different twists, your different turns, characters' emotions, you know, and how they play out on stories and stuff. Nate sent me his review for If It Hops
2 of them
today.
2?
And
Ooh.
oh, he did. And
Yeah.
I love them, but they were chock riddled with spoilers.
Yeah.
Like HR would have burned his content. Like it was
hard.
It was, yeah, it is. I keep telling you these things. Like it's so easy to give away the story when you're sitting here and you're having a good time talking. You're like, did you know this? And you're like, no, we fucking didn't, asshole. No, we didn't.
I do now.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot there, Buckaroo, for ruining an entire chapter I was waiting on.
I do want to say though, just to, I mean, joking aside though, that the fact that it is so difficult, especially Nate, to me, that makes me excited because that means then he is so invested and he enjoyed the story so much that it's really hard to write
Absolutely.
an engaging, review videos without giving spoilers. And I know it's hard, but for me, that kind of makes me more excited. It's like, you had that hard a time keeping it in. I'm like, I can't wait to read it. So.
Yeah, I think that he did a great job. Tell us a little bit without telling us things.
So when
Good
I
luck.
wrote BGD 1, that book's been out for a long time. So, I was given free reign to do spoiler, whatever. Can't do that with If It Hops. My first one, literally, it was read, it's read from the aspect of C. And so C is telling you a story, of what happens in the issue. But the first version is literally like what she saw through her lens through every piece of it. And like every piece of it was a twist kind of on the story that Dustin wrote. It was like, hey, what she was feeling in that situation, what was going on, or like, oh crap, I'm screwing up, But then version 2 was kind of pared back down, because I had to, because when I sat back and looked at it after the first version, I'm like, and you said, no, you can't go that far. Okay, I can't go that far. Can I go this far?
Right.
So my version 2 is this far versus that far.
Right.
And it's very hard because for me, If It's Hops was the first ethereal book I was involved in, and because that's the one April told me. She said, "Hey, we're having this book, come take a look at it." And so I looked at it and I immediately bought the Steph Wilson cover and bought a bunch of stuff that day in the Kickstarter. But that was what brought me to ethereal. That's why I'm so invested in the character, because that was my first book. The review is even harder to write because of that. If It Hops had came out, say, a couple of years ago, and I had the same free reign as I did with BGD, you guys would get the full blown one, which I'll save for a rainy day, because you don't ever throw nothing away when you write something. I learned that years ago. You keep it, even on a hard drive or whatever. You keep it. But I'm invested in this one because I want to see the characters succeed like they've done. I want to see, like, for me, I want to see the more development with K, because like C gets all the limelight, but I want to see the lioness get more too.
Yeah,
and I know what happens in 2 and 3.
Right.
And so I can't say nothing about 2 or 3 because some people might not have read 2 yet, even though Dustin sent it out. Especially can't say jack about 3 because we just launched it. But you guys are gonna have fun with this one when it comes out. It's completely different too.
I think people enjoy it. I think that you're getting a lot more K. People wanting to see K. They enjoy K, and she's a great character. She's the opposite of C. She's a little quieter, more down to earth than C is, excited and full of energy and stuff. The fun thing about K to me is her gentleness is hidden by her size. You know what I mean? Like, she's this character that is, hey, look, I will go all out on somebody. You know what I mean? But I'm in love with a bunny that's half my size that I have to think about, that individual and, what their situation is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Can you imagine getting intimate with somebody half your size? You don't want to squish them or hurt them or anything like that.
You have to be very cognizant of your own strength.
That's it. And she's super muscular. She's just a very strong, powerful individual. And I like showing off her softer side, if you will, because she is a very kind individual. And we show it off a little bit in issue 1. At the end of issue 1, you get to see how she treats other people and how she talks to other people and stuff. But it's not like you're not getting like a Rambo-esque character just because she's a muscular individual. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's not like a super soldier. She's good at what she does. She's an agent for a reason. But at the same time, she's also very kind of like chill. Like when you take all the gear off and stuff and close the door, she's a very timid individual, and I think that's fun. I think it, her timidness, is hidden by her size, so it's an interesting aspect of the character.
It's an intriguing dichotomy between the two.
For sure, right? Like, but you guys are also going to get to meet. You're going to get to see her, the Jackal again. And if you guys read the digital of If It Hops issue 2, he's a bad dude, man. Like, he's a bad dude. He goes ham on C after C thought she, handled all that business, but he's a character that knows her as well as she knows him. I think the issue with that character, and when you first start looking at him or learning about him, is you assume he's just a killer. And I think that's something that I'm trying in issue 3. You're noticing that he's not. There's much more below the surface to this individual. And you'll also get introduced to another character that's probably going to be pretty intriguing in this issue. So,
I have yet to come across a character that is not at least somewhat intriguing, Justin. So
I appreciate
that.
Good
job. Good job.
Thank you. Speaking, I just spoke to April just a second ago. She said she's almost finished and on her way here. But there's another character that I had that I've been working on recently for a book called There Be Shadows.
Nate's really looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah.
There Be Shadows. Nate, have you read the script for the first issue?
Oh, I've read all of it. I've read it 4 times.
Right
I'm
on.
ready. I'm ready to write the synopsis already on it, but I'm like, crap. But I want to see the artwork first.
For sure.
Because just to validate what I'm thinking, it should.
Yeah.
It's one of those stories that you don't have to have artwork actually for at all. You could actually just read it as a novel.
Right.
And you can imagine what it's supposed to be like.
That's saying something.
The two of these
where the artwork just enhances and makes it like the artwork is going to come out and Dustin is going to just be blown away that it's just bringing everything to life. It's even better than he expected.
I believe it. I think that there's all the talent that we've been bringing on is absolutely phenomenal, but April's been trying to get me to write a novel for the past year. She's
got time for
that. Yeah, I don't have time. There's
in your many moments of spare time, right?
Yeah. I would love to write one. I don't know where I would find anywhere near the amount of time I would need to put it together.
Especially to give it the justice that you would want to do.
Yeah, for sure, because so none of you guys have worked, with the exception of Bladen or Nate's seen a little bit, but have actually seen my process, and I am extremely anal about my product. Like it has got to be exactly like it's supposed to be. Like I refuse to put out bullshit. Like I absolutely refuse. Like if there's something wrong, we're going to redo the whole page. Like it's just that's how I am. We talk about what it is to be, what is on brand for Ethereal, and that's not accepting mediocrity. So if it's just okay, that's not good enough. Okay is not good enough.
But to your credit, though, I mean, I don't, some people who don't do that, but at least the communication is strong. So you have no problem making sure, talking with your artists and other people to make sure so that those edits are minimal, so that the instances where they might have to redo something like that.
Exactly. We have,
otherwise, working with you would probably be a whole different experience.
No.
Well, I just get lucky every time.
Bladen handles all the line work.
Right.
You know what I mean? All the line work goes across that man's desk. And it's a phenomenal thing for people that have never experienced what it is to work in a professional environment. They're doing the indie scene and this and that, but they've never worked in a professional environment. And we offer that. We offer an actual environment with, team members and leads and managers and the whole nine. So you literally have people that are helping you help yourself. And I love that. I love seeing I love seeing the evolution. With like, so if you look at right now, like if you look at Blade and Hunter, right? Blade and Hunter posts something and Chris Mad jumps on there and talks about how badass it is, right? That's amazing to me. Like I have these moments where I'm just like, it's almost euphoric, where like I'll see one of our members talk to another member that doesn't even know them outside of working together, but they've worked together now, and that's their peer, that's their team member, that's, you know, that's a person that they can talk to, and it's just a phenomenal thing to see. You know, none of our guys and gals treat each other like strangers. That's something that we don't do, you know, because we have, look, if you go to do If It Hops issue 4, right, you're going to go work on issue 4. Well, if you know issue 4 is coming up and you know there are a couple other folks that worked on issue 1, 2, and 3, and you can reach out to them and go, hey, did your cover do well? What did you feel about this pose? Did Bladen like that? Or how did they feel about this? Or how did they feel about that? It's a really cool dynamic. And since we've gotten rid of the bullpen, that dynamic doesn't really exist anymore. So we like to have that. We like to have that open, you know, conversation and that open line of communication between team members here. You know, going back to talking about like, There Be Shadows. It's the only character I've had a conundrum with before, Shawnee, that I've written. Wendy is a character that I was so excited to write her in my own way, you know, that because There Be Shadows is something different than anyone is expecting. I promise. There's not going to be anybody that's ready for what we're giving with that. And I know Nate's all about it. He's ready. So there's a lot to go on with that book. And I was literally like, how do I write almost like a character that is so two-faced. Like she's so two-faced, but she's so honest about it. Like so honest about it. Like, it'll be interesting. And you'll see exactly what I mean as you start seeing the artwork for the character and stuff come out. But I'm thrilled about it. We just started, breaking ground on where they dwell. So that should be a lot of fun. The art team's already together, started going together for that. And we're getting everybody prepared for that particular issue. The Halloween stuff, everybody's like, that's my current project. I'm not allowed to work on anything else but that right this second, because I am not where I would like to be with it, but we've never done what we're about to do with that book. So for the Halloween this year, instead of just doing, the Halloween covers, like we had a lot of fun with them last year with If It Hops and stuff. So
we just broke 2,000.
Yep.
Badass. Love that. So thank you everyone for that. That's amazing. So what we're doing with this particular Halloween issue is we're doing 3 issues. And they're literally going to drop back to back. And we're also doing a calendar in there between that particular event. But just because there's so much amazing artwork that you guys haven't got to see, that I just am like, oh my gosh. It's beautiful stuff, like absolutely beautiful. Because we were going to do an Asses of Ethereal book, and instead we're doing the Cutie calendar is what we're doing. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm waiting for Trevor to come back to do an Asses of Ethereal book. So
you got to have Trevor for that one.
Yes. It's really not an Asses of Ethereal book without Trevor.
Right. So I have to wait.
As long as if you have LC, and you get Trevor.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's your your two big ones
that's
right
it.
there.
That's it. So
That's what you should do. Is do an A cover, B cover, LC versus Trevor, and they have like C on one, K on the other.
Gosh. So we had a conversation about that.
Choose your button book.
we did, and you know what? It's going to sound strange. How the what we've come to when it came to the versus covers and stuff like that. Somebody's going to get their feelings hurt, and that's one of those things that I never want.
Right.
I never want an artist to feel like they were second best to anyone else. So we probably won't ever do any of the, like we were gonna do. Well, this will be the first time I talk about it, and he's not even in here. But we've got a Steph Wilson project for next year coming up, and just because Steph's been with us for just about every book under the sun, and we were gonna do almost a tribute to Steph Wilson ethereal book, like all his covers done by other artists, and but we started talking about it, and it was like, man, we really don't want. What if a cover is better looking than another one, or if, and you never want people to come back and be like, oh, that's better than you did it, or he did it. You know what I mean? It's cool, like if you get your besties to do it, like you do your Ryan and your DeBolfo covers, they're fun and they respect each other, and that's a dynamic. But when you take two people that don't know each other very well and then you throw them together, it's kind of like, you're literally like putting gladiators together, as April said it. You know what I mean? And we don't want people.
And you don't want to be.
No.
That's almost too. It's almost too competitive.
It really is.
That's not the vibe you're looking for. Yeah.
Not in the least. So we're doing we're, like I said, we're doing the calendar, but for this really interesting Halloween trio of books, the Kickstarters were literally back to back for these 3 books. So you guys will get them right on top of each other when they drop. But it'll be almost like the girls are trying to survive in a house with a killer. And
inside the house.
Yeah.
Jason.
Somebody's in the house killing all the characters.
Exactly.
And it's its own continuity. It's actually in the same universe as the Christmas book. So all the characters know each other. So you'll get to see interactions between Agent C, Agent K, Maya, Eve, all these characters.
I get a kick out of stuff like that. I like it when the different universes kind of touch and crossover, and those little crossovers. I think those are fun. So the Christmas one, which will be neat, and now you'll have kind of a spooky, eerie Halloween one. I think
this one is going to be. It'll test fans' patience with me and their favorite characters.
Oh Lordy!
So
take it all back.
So we're also doing these very interesting covers that we're calling them life and death covers. This is the first time we talked about them live.
Well, that's not neat.
I like those.
Each cover will be cut in half. And we're gonna do 4 of them for each book. But so you've got the character in the live cover, which will be like a wild cover with a very pretty cover, and then you'll have the character dead in another cover. How they died in the book will be on the actual cover, and it'll be rendered out.
Made and intrigued all at the same time.
Yeah. It'll be rendered out really, really cool, and then we'll move on to the life and death actual covers that we're doing, which will have a character's like face on it, and then it'll be blank on the other side, and we'll have opportunities for artists to draw on the other side.
Oh, very cool.
For the campaigns. So it should be really neat. I'm excited about that. I think that
they can either tie it in, or they can do a completely separate character, or they can
well, it's like
do the opposite. Yes,
we had a funny one the other day, right? Like we had like a gentleman asked us to do a Mr. Sinister on a BGD blank, and
how cool!
That's wild. You know what I mean? So We're gonna get that. Oh my gosh, it's a wild April Raina.
Oh,
I miss April.
Dude.
Get your
Hi,
Raina
honey.
balls ready.
Is my what?
Yeah. Are you a girlfriend?
I'm just having a day.
I get that.
Yep.
Totally get that.
I get that too. I had a bit of a week, so this has been a nice
Understood.
one.
I'm so sorry.
Ugh.
Nobody likes having weeks.
Mm-mm.
No, they're no fun.
No.
Let's check on this
Cool.
campaign. Where are we at? We're
24,
at
23 with 43 backers.
man, amazing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, I take the thunder, dude. Take all the thunder. I love
Wait,
it.
what's it at?
24-23.
Aw, yay.
Yeah.
They
So-
love me. I mean, us.
Yes to both of those statements.
Whatever you need, yeah.
Yeah, we've been waiting to actually talk about If It Hops for you, so you could talk about it.
Huh?
Oh,
What do I have to say other than, wow, that bunny? Meow. I mean, what is... Not meow. What do bunny noises make? I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard a bunny hiss when it got upset.
Oh.
Like it wasn't even like a hiss. It's like a pfft. Like they push air out. Like it's not even like a. It's almost like it's like
Like
what
a bunny raspberry.
that heat would sound like. You know, there's a. Pfft, you
They
know,
got a
if it
little
was actual-
deflated.
yeah,
Mouth
Yeah.
works.
like if it was an actual like a noise they were trying to make.
Oh.
It's not like the prairie dogs. They sit down there when they're pissed off. You know they're pissed off. They'll vocally
Okay.
tell you they're pissed off.
Well, Angelus over here, God bless him, has been stuck in his baby jail for, I don't know, the last like 3 hours. So I'm
No.
sure he's going to be like making some harumphing noises before long. But I did give him some frozen peas and carrots, so hopefully he'll just be patient.
Oh,
The
gosh.
gnaw nose for a bit, and that'll keep him occupied.
I don't know. He's going to get pissed and he's going to be like, look, Mom, I made the biggest dump I possibly could.
And it's on the
Just
floor.
for you.
And then I
Oh my gosh.
whipped it around in my puppy bed.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, you have had a day, haven't you?
No. He hasn't done it, but I'm anticipating.
You're anticipating.
It's coming.
Yeah. Just like,
Yes.
you know, the wrath of the puppy.
Puppy wrath. Bum, bum, bum.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
He's just ornery. He's all boy.
Oh man, you know what? I know I live that life, right? Like that's an excuse in my house. Like my son will do some batshit crazy stuff, and then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's all boy. Just let him." No, the fuck, no.
No.
I don't
No.
give
Well-
a shit what he is over there. He doesn't need to be fucking flinging shit like he's crazy.
I'm all about
You know,
that.
For somebody who has to
dick.
avoid with him, thank you.
You know, I have not been hitting the dick like in the past 3 days, so I am okay. Like, I'm
tongue's
feeling
a-
like I'm going for a record here of not getting.
Is your boy feeling okay? Is everything good?
I'm feeling pretty good, you know. I'm just scared to like if he's in a room and I can't see him before I go to walk in there is all. I'm trying to
Justin's
prepare
like peeking
myself.
around corners.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to make sure there's no tiny fucker hiding behind a corner or something. Ugh.
I imagine the last hour without me has been very tame.
Yeah, I tried, but
Oh,
it wasn't.
Yeah,
Try.
It wasn't very good.
not successful.
It's just not the same
Bladen,
without
I'm
you,
so
April.
happy to hear your voice.
Hello.
He made the attempt.
My partner in crime.
Indeed.
Shenanigans.
We're going to have to put together our own weekend workshop of Cajun spicing. Like, this is how you grill.
You're so funny.
What?
It has a nuance of ethereal in there.
Oh, yeah. Something dark and punch you right in the butthole or something. You'll feel it
I
twice.
don't want anything to do with that. Y'all keep that all to yourself.
April has officially joined the show.
Brown
And she's back.
Yeah, she's back.
Jesus Christ. She's been on here 5 minutes. You got punched in the dick and you smell a butthole. God damn.
Look,
Just
I'm
for
trying
that.
to draw here, and I can't laugh and draw at the same time. I'm just
Oh my
saying, I've got
God.
limitations.
Oh, boo-hoo. Poor
you can do
April.
Oh my gosh.
I have
Shenanigans.
limitations.
Actual
Shenanigans.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
That's why you have me on, I assume.
Well, that's fair.
we do have a pretty good idea of what we're getting in for when you join. So
Mhm.
Yes.
yeah.
I think we've all gotten ourselves ready by the time that you get here. We're pretty ready for what's about to happen.
I have to admit, I was feeling very honored when you were like, April, are you coming? I'm like, I'm trying to throw these clothes in this closet as fast as I can.
Hey man, well, this is like we were talking about earlier before you got here. This is, your first entry in the actual world of If It Hops, like an actual interior book.
Oh, for sure.
So it's, you've done amazing covers, you've done awesome promotional artworks, you've done posters, and this is your first time actually getting to be in the guts of an If It Hops book.
Mm-hmm. Technically, in interiors of any ethereal book, this is number one.
That's only because
we keep
I
pushing.
mean,
Don't get mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying that's
Very calm down.
Wait, what? Did I do
it's
something
only because
wrong?
of a timing issue with other books.
For like a year and a half.
Oh my god.
What?
So what he's joking about and what I'm beating around the bush with
I'm not
is
joking.
These Neon Streets is a book.
Oh,
that we
yeah.
were working on.
I still need to finish my pages for that.
I was kind of wondering because I hadn't heard reference to it in a while, and I kind of
Nah,
wondered what was going on with it.
it's on the release schedule for this fall for what I understand. Like, I know
Is
we
it
were
with
shuffling
April's
it.
window of Give a Damn window?
Huh?
Is it an April's Give a Damn window?
It's since I'm on interiors, fuck yeah.
It should be.
I've been sweating that book for like months.
She was so excited about it when we first sat down.
Excited about it.
She was like, I love this. And we're sitting at a show just bullshitting and having a good time talking about this book. And that was like a year and a half ago. So I don't know.
They sigh.
Kind of funny how life will do that to you, right?
To be fair, that book
You know
has
what?
gotten better since.
I very much enjoy being at the disposal of our team when they need something or if something comes in and I can help. And I feel like I've gotten a chance to really do that a lot with, getting some digital colors in or getting, trying to help balance out, like, not, I don't know, like the rest of the year and everything, and trying to interview and send out constant updates to our team. I mean, it's
a lot.
The endeavor. Mm-hmm.
It's a full-time job.
It is. Just listening to it.
Well,
she does it so good,
I've been
though. Like,
shucking clothes for the last 5 hours, so like I'm totally like not in a drawing mode. Like I'll get better as I sit here and gather my wits, but overall, like I have been very, very busy, but on an administrative side, and making sure everybody's taken care of, because when our team is confident, then I can relax.
Yep.
And we've had several opportunities to have new team members on. And there's always some sense of anxiety that kind of occurs when you're dealing with new people, new company, new rules to follow. And we do kind of march at the tune of our own drum a little bit. So it's not like when you work for Coffin or BDI or Valiant or Dynamite that you are reporting to the same person or the same chain of command every time. So you kind of have to relearn the dance steps 2 or 3 books in, and then it gets real comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of at that level, but we're having a new influx of amazing, talented artist. I'm very excited about it. And
So are we.
I know, right?
Keeps that
And I was
line straight,
downloading,
dude. Like,
huh?
like you're like the den mother. Like you keep the
Yes.
whole deal straight. Like
Yes.
like I told both of them the other day, I was like, I could not do what each of them does. You know what I mean? It's literally like April will handle every new face that comes in the door, right? And then, they'll go off to Bladen, and Bladen will make sure that, they have everything they need, from him to, after the thumbnails. Thumbnails start and they go to Bladen, you know what I mean? Then they start moving things around, or April sends out these amazing packets with all the information and character designs and, stories for everybody to read and be able to keep up with what's going on. That poor thing doesn't even have the time to read the stories herself half the time. She's got to send them out by time periods. And there are times where, I look forward to her reading things to get her opinions and her thoughts about what's going on. Same thing with Bladen. The whole thing with Fallen Leaves, getting done, and him talking to me about the ick factor was just what I needed to hear to make sure I knew the project was right. That was.
He's like, did that disgust you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, it's good to go.
Okay. Then it worked.
Yeah. If you're grossed out, I'm prepared.
You did your job.
Yeah, but Dustin, for you, I think it's part of the, the winning combination, because you were smart enough to grab these amazing people on your team, each paying into their strengths and everything else. And no, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything like what they do
Well,
either.
I'm one of my skill sets is I'm good at building a team. That's what I've had to do my whole life. I've always worked with groups of people. So it's like if I can find people that are going to uplift and build and grow, that's who I want to work with. I worked in a job setting where I very much, my life depended on the individual that stood behind me, for many, many years. So it was like, okay, well, let's take that into, when I moved into management, let's take that into management. Who can I trust to be behind me on every step of every project going forward? And when it came to running my own business, it's the same concept. If I've got an individual like April who is going to come out and look out, not for just me, her, and Bladen, but every other member of the team, that's who you want there, because both of them will be honest with me. I don't need people that are just going to be like, oh yeah, that's great every time I make a decision. You know what I mean? It's the folks that are going to tell you when you're wrong. Those are the people that you can depend on to be there. You know what I mean? So,
not only good at building teams, but you're also good then at, within those teams, appropriate delegation. You trust the people that you work with to you delegate. Sure. They do their jobs, and it's going to be done right. And
there's very rarely anymore.
Not everybody has that.
I appreciate that. It's not very rarely anymore do I hunt for team members. But every now and then somebody will come across.
You son of a
biscuit.
Biscuit.
Twitch said biscuit.
She's still having a day, apparently. Yikes.
But then there's times where like Bladen will be like, look, I found a great artist. Let's snag them. I love that page so much. It makes me so happy. He'll be like, look, I found this artist, try this artist out. Or April will be like, oh man, did you see that colorist? And I'll be like, yeah. But every now and then, like, they normally handle the hiring for their perspective areas, so, but every now and then I'll find somebody and I'll be like, whoa, hey, you know what I mean? That's
check this out.
That's a direction we need to go in. And right now we're having moved back to the way that we were putting out books. It's like, there's like a level of, I used to talk about sports in regards to comic books, right? It used to be your college level, your indie leagues, and then your pro players, right? Like Ethereal has moved out of college ball. We don't play in college ball at all. You know what I mean? And we've pretty much moved out of, you know, indie ball. We're in the middle between indie and pro ball right now. And so we look for those type of players. We look for people that are in that realm, because now when you start, once you can take a breath, like publishing books in general, running your own business in general is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I'm proud of everyone that does it, like literally everyone that does it and sticks to it and doesn't give up during the hard times, you know, because once you get to a certain point in publishing, you can sit back and you can breathe a little bit. And instead of going, man, I need to grab every badass artist I can find, now you start going, well, let's go through, you know, the submissions that we've had this week. You know, and when you first start doing it, it's like 1 a week or 2 a week. Then you get to a point where it's like 50 every 2 weeks, you know, and you're like, okay, well, now I can go, well, do we want to work with this individual? Do we want to work with that individual? And we can effectively build teams from the stuff that's coming in with the people we already have, you know, or like, let's say that you see somebody at a show, right? Shawnee, you or Nate, you're at a show, and you're like, oh my gosh, your artwork's so good. You should go talk to Dustin, da da da. And they come talk to me, and I go, oh yeah, dope. Let's see what you can do, da da da, and maybe we'll move forward. You know what I mean? Right now is an interesting yet tough time period for indie publications, because not for everybody, you know, but for some folks it's tough right now because there's a lot of people that are losing jobs in the industry right now. So when they go out to find work, the understanding is they're going to get paid what they may have been paid before, you know, and we're one of the few companies that can pay comparatively, if not more, what people are making at Marvel, DC, or whatever. And there's a handful of them, you know, BDI, you know, Image, whatever, you know, all those cats are cool. But you see these companies run out of funding. You know, your IDW's having issues. There's been a couple go under the past few years, you know, and a lot of it comes down to poor management. You know, what you've been doing with the funds you've received. You know, so like if you as an artist, like if you come to us, we have a pretty set rate. For the most part, we've got a pretty set rate. And so if you come to us and you're like, oh, well, I'm XXXXX, whatever, you know what I mean? Fine. But if you don't have any like pedigree or credential to back that number, it doesn't make sense for us to just be like, yes, we're going to give you this because you asked for it. That's foolhardy. That's not good on my part. Because what if you bomb? You know what I mean? And if you bomb when you work on a team, it affects everybody on the team.
Yep.
You know, so what we do is we go, okay, well, let's start you here, okay, and we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? Well, we can get you back there as long as you're making the funds to get back there. You know what I mean? That's what you want. We have to make money to get there. And sadly, there are so many people out there that are looking for work that we as a company can only accommodate so many people.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is, and I love it. I love that it's where people want to work with us. That's fucking cool, right? But it's the fact that you hate turning away people sometimes.
Yeah.
You hate being like I had this dude come to me like 4 weeks ago. I was like, oh, I want to work on If It Hops. And I was like, cool, but I don't have any openings on If It Hops. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, you know, that's a popular book from you. I want to work on that one. I understand, but I don't have any space on that one. You know what I mean? I don't have any room, you know? Whereas, like, if someone comes in with a referral or something and they want to get on a book, then we can go, oh, look, you know, we're literally booked till like December of this year. So, like, if we go, hey, look, we're booked out, but maybe we can put you in on January or February. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, like, I can talk to you about, Dan Wickline, right?
Mhm.
Love Dan. Really nice guy. Really, really good dude. Incredible writer. He's got a great story, ongoing story coming out with us. And I can go, well, Dan's got a new book coming out. You know what I mean? Maybe we can put him, her, whatever, on Dan's new book. But it's one of those things where with us, seniority means something. It's important. If you've put in your time,
That makes me glad to hear, because I know sometimes some places, not just comics, but anywhere.
No,
they do that
anywhere.
Sometimes, anywhere you go, it's like people who don't respect those who not only seniority but have proven that they do the job, and then when they're not respected for that, that's just really frustrating and sad. So.
Well, it's important to look out for
the people who've proven themselves and been loyal.
Right, like right now, you look at outside of Bladen, right? Outside of Bladen, David Acampo has worked with me since, and Adam Fields. There's a couple other cats that have worked with me since the listener started, but like David Acampo has worked on every single book that we've put out, whether it's covers on the interiors, whether it's covers on a cover, So if he goes, I want a cover for here, he gets a cover. That's how it works. You know what I mean? It's just he's earned that ability to.
He's earned his stripes to be able to make those requests and
he's a fucking monster to begin with. So if he wants
True.
to do it,
do
it.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'll be right back. I'll pause again.
Yeah.
But you